Good afternoon, everyone. I'm meteorologist Danielle Kozlowski, and I'm here with RotoCurve to give you guys the weather forecast for the Tuesday night baseball games. So to jump in quickly and go ahead and unfortunately kind of bum you guys out, we're really busy again with weather tonight in some of the games. Not as many. We only have 4 specifically that I'm looking at, and those are the Pirates, the Indians, the Rangers, and the Rockies. And as of right now, I think the 2 worst ones that have the highest possibility of having like a really long delay, at least for right now, I don't want to say postpone yet, but long delay would be the Pirates game and the Rockies game. So those are my 2 top priorities, and then below that, the Indians and the Rangers. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what current radars are looking like right now and what the possible radar reflectivity will be looking like around game time at all 4 of these cities. So going ahead and starting out with out west in Denver, you can see the storms are already popping up along the front range out there, and it's only 2 o'clock their time, and so there's still about 5 more hours, no, 4-ish more hours until game time. But the problem is these storms that are popping up along there are going to continue throughout the afternoon, tonight, and overnight hours. So just depending on whether or not they move north or south of the stadium, or if they move right over it, especially if it's a slow-moving storm, which these look to be, that might be what we end up seeing as a long delay. So hopefully, let's cross our fingers that that doesn't happen, but that's what it's looking like right now. Here is the southern edge of that storm system that moved through Kansas City last night and postponed that game. That very southern edge of it is going to be traveling through the DFW area over the next few hours. Thankfully, kind of this midsection that will be traveling through the city over the game in Arlington for the Rangers is really just very light rain, nothing severe with it. So possibly just a short rain delay for that. I'm not entirely worried. However, it might be off and on rain throughout the game. We're just kind of going to have to see, so keep that in mind. Moving to the northeast, we've got Cleveland and Pittsburgh. So right now, Pittsburgh obviously doesn't look too bad, but we see this whole line that is headed its way, and that's the northern edge of the system that passed through the Midwest yesterday. And so Cleveland is getting the storms right now, and we'll get the back end of that stratiform precip moving through. So I'm thinking there for the Indians game, it's probably just going to be a late start, and then hopefully that should be it. And so even though it's a weather problem, I think really just a late start is what we're going to be dealing with there. And then for Pittsburgh, since you guys can see this, we've already have storms popping to the south and north of the city. And like I said, these storms popping up along that line right behind it. And that's going to be affecting Pittsburgh here probably pretty close to game time. It's 4 p.m. Eastern there right now. Game is set to start at 7 their time. So, we'll keep an eye out on this, but I have a feeling that this is probably going to be, like I said, one of the ugly ones, unfortunately. So if we go ahead and take a look at the forecasted radar and what the NSET per model is kind of showing us, this is the sub-hourly. So it kind of breaks it down even further into detail into 15-minute increments. And as you can see, this stretch of precip from this whole storm system is pretty much stretched across the country. So thankfully, it's not affecting even more games. But really, this is at 23 UTC. So this is at 6 p.m. Central Time. So an hour before the Rangers game starts, and that is 7 Eastern Time when Cleveland and Pittsburgh are supposed to be starting. So this is kind of what, since I'm seeing this rain and some light showers still in the area at game time, I'm thinking Cleveland will be a late start, and then we see in the next, if we progress at about an hour, then the storms look to have already filled in and begun to affect Pittsburgh. And so that is where I think, honestly, we'll see the most trouble tonight. The model has somewhat difficulty trying to figure out whether or not like increasing coverage of storms over the Denver area this evening. And so, like I said, keeping an eye on radar for the next few hours before lock is definitely necessary. But those are the 4 main areas that are, you know, what I'm focusing on. It's definitely going to be a busy night for weather. So just keep that in mind with your guys' lineups. And then really quick for wind forecast, Chicago. So we've got the Cubs and the White Sox. Winds are pretty strong out of the northeast. And in the Cubs Stadium for the second game of their second header today, winds are going to be around 20 miles per hour, gusting anywhere from 25 to 30. And those winds will be blowing in from center field, so that's making it really tough on the pitchers and the hitters already today. And then White Sox game, very similar, winds around 15 to 20 miles an hour, possible gusts at times, but these winds are a little bit different. Yes, they're blowing in, but they're also kind of blowing out to right field, so that's going to be a little bit of an issue in that game as well. And then San Francisco, windy out there as normal. Winds around out of the southwest, blowing anywhere 15 to 20 miles an hour, but that shouldn't affect it too much. So I hope that was helpful. I know it's kind of a bummer that we have 2 big weather days in a row for a lot of these games, but I'm thinking hopefully 3 out of the 4 won't, you know, they'll end up playing and nothing will really be worried. So Pittsburgh is honestly at this point what I'm most worried about. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I might not know a little bit more closer to lock just to kind of get a better feel for what the radar is kind of showing and seeing how it's going to end up. But feel free to reach out to me and I'll be there to answer any of your guys' questions. And I want to wish you all good luck.